during the Microsoft Word unit, you have some projects to work on to help you apply what you learn. The first of these projects is a group project, and it is meant to be a learning project, but it's also to have some fun. The project is for your group to develop an opening day flyer for your business. Please make sure that this is for the opening day event. This project is to be created by all of your members of your group. If a group member does not participate, let me know and I'll adjust their grade accordingly. It needs to be creative, to include specific information, and to be created on Microsoft Word. Do not use a template. It is to be created from scratch. In a couple of minutes, I'll show you where you can find the list of requirements. Unless you currently have a lot of experience with Word, you are not going to be able to complete this flyer right now. You'll have lab time each week to add features as you learn them. Now let's take a look at Blackboard to see where you can access the resources you need to complete this project. From your announcements page, go to the left pane under Reference Materials, and you see the project requirements. Click on the project requirements and you'll see two things here. You'll see the Microsoft Word. This is where you'll find all of your requirements for the project itself. You'll also see this group project assignment sheet heading. We're going to talk about this more on Wednesday, but when you start your project and when you finish your project, you're going to use this form. So we'll talk about it more then. But if I click on the Microsoft Word, then you see the link for Group Opening Day Flyer. I'm going to click on this Create a Group Flyer. And what you have is basically a flyer about the flyer you're going to create. The top portion here, when you're working through your group as a group, you need to make sure that you have the information that is on the top portion of this form. That's going to be, you want a heading. You want the date and time of the opening day celebration, also the business name and the business address. Of course, you're making most of this up. One or more students need to create a company logo with input and approval from the whole group. Someone needs to create a map to your location. This map is to be used making the drawing tools within Word, not a map off the internet. You need to add entertainment, sales, refreshments to be served. Remember, it's all made up, so get creative. On the bottom portion of this flyer, you see the Word features that you need to use. You need to use a variety of fonts and font sizes. Don't use all caps. Use colors, borders, and shading. Use different types of alignments. Right, left, center, justified. You can also slant your text. We'll learn how to do that. Include clip art, word art, and bullets. Use auto shapes, arrows, lines, and these can be all within your map if you'd like. Make sure you include one text box to hold information, and make sure that you include a watermark. Now these are the required items. If your group is extremely creative and make a flyer that is above and beyond these guidelines, I reserve the right to add extra credit points. One person in your group needs to go to Blackboard, and under the Let's Talk, we need to create a discussion board, and this needs to be under the groups link, not the discussion board link. So if you go to the group link, and you're all going to see a different group. I'm in group 1. And down here, you see the discussion board. Create a discussion board. This is to establish a forum to communicate with your fellow group members. You can post what you've created and go back and forth when you're not in the lab. Now, when I go back over to these project requirement sheets, project requirements form. I have added, under the group opening day flyer, I've added some samples here. These samples are not intended for you to use and input your information. You need to start from scratch. I will be checking for original formatting. But let's look at a couple of these samples. First, I want to look at sample number 2. This sample is sort of good. You can see the watermark in the background. It's a watermark, it looks like some kind of automotive watermark. They have a logo and a title. The date and time is included, nice and easy to see. I'm not impressed with this font right here. This is sort of hard to read, so it's a good example to show you how to be careful with fonts. The colors are interesting. There's several different colors, so it's a little interesting there. Now I'm going to close this one and open up another one. This flyer sample number 1. This is a very different one than the one before. Notice the colors and the other features that they have here. The one thing to be careful of is they have all caps here. Just be careful of using all caps. So now, if I close these samples here, and we're going to go back over to Blackboard. This project is due February 25th, and it will be submitted on Blackboard with your self-evaluation form. This self-evaluation form, if you click on this to take a look at it, the self-evaluation form, this is where you're going to check off all these things that you say that you have here. I'm going to redo this flyer before you use it, and there will be a place for everyone's name and the group number, so you can tell me exactly who participated on working on this flyer. If one of your group members didn't participate, please make sure to let me know, so I will adjust their grade accordingly. So now what I'm going to do is let you go ahead and go through here, start looking at your requirement sheets here under your group flyer. Take a look at it and see what it is that you really want to do. What part are you interested in? Are you interested in creating the logo or what? So when your group meets, you can say what it is that you want to do. You can start looking at the group samples and some of the other things that are involved there. So go ahead and start taking a look at those, and I'll see you on Wednesday.